For many soldiers, trenches were both refuge and trap, protection from enemy fire, yet open to the merciless sky. However, snow and rain turned them into freezing, muddy graves. When the only thing between a man and death was what he could build with his hands. These 8 hacks weren't theory. They were survival, forged in the mud-soaked trenches and frozen forests of World War II. Suddenly, a hole in the earth became a home. It blocked the blizzards, held off the downpour, and even shielded against shrapnel. Soldiers learned that survival wasn't strength, it was adaptation. Even a sheet of metal layered with mud could mean the difference between waking up alive or not at all. When the wind screamed and the rain came sideways, shallow trenches weren't enough. So soldiers went deeper. They dug into the earth, lining the walls with sandbags, sometimes filled with soil, rubble, even shredded uniforms. But sandbags leaked air and cold, so they sealed them with thick, hand-packed mud. Once dried, that mud hardened like armor. Inside, a candle could burn without flickering out, and soldiers could finally take a breath without shivering. It was far from perfect. Mud walls sagged in heavy rain, and water crept up from below. But it worked. From the simplest mix of dirt and determination came warmth that no army could issue. No time to dig? No problem. Every soldier carried a poncho or a shelter half a tent that became full protection when joined with another soldier's half. They buttoned them together, drove rifles into the ground to use as poles, and tied ropes between trees. In minutes, they had a lenta roof, turning rain into runoff. Quick, light and portable. A lifeline on the move. Soldiers could march all day, stop in a storm, and be dry before the next thunder rolled. It wasn't warm, it wasn't fancy, but it was survival in motion. Proof that sometimes your best shelter is what you can carry on your back. When storms hit harder and shells rained louder, soldiers took to the forests. They dug deep into the frozen soil, cut down nearby trees, and built bunkers roofed with thick logs. Then they buried them under layers of dirt and snow. From above, they vanished into the terrain. From within, they became shields against both weather and warfare. The air was thick and smoky, the labor brutal, but these bunkers kept entire squads alive through nights that froze steel solid. Every beam told a story of raw endurance. With nothing but timber and grit, men turned the earth itself into armor. Snow was both enemy and savior. Soldiers learned to carve life out of it. They piled drifts high, packed them tight, and hollowed them into small domes, snow huts known as quinzees. Inside, temperatures rose dramatically. The wind was gone. A single candle could add precious warmth. Some soldiers even reinforced their snow foxholes with branches or boards, transforming white death into a living cocoon. But these shelters demanded precision. Too thin, and the cold sliced in. Too thick, and men suffocated. The lesson was eternal. Nature isn't the enemy if you know how to use it. In towns leveled to dust, soldiers found no forests, no supplies, just rubble. But rubble could save lives. They stacked broken bricks and stones into low walls, packing mud in between to block drafts. Even waist-high, these windbreaks made a difference. Fires stopped sputtering out. Soldiers could huddle in the calm shadow of destruction. Sometimes they leaned doors or beams from collapsed homes to form makeshift roofs. Every wall was built from ruins, but in that ruin there was resilience. Soldiers saw value in what everyone else had abandoned. Staying warm didn't matter if the enemy could see you. That's where camouflage nets came in. Originally made to hide vehicles and gear, these became makeshift roofs. Soldiers stretched them over foxholes and coated them with mud, leaves and branches. The result? Invisible ceilings that blocked rain, sleet and detection. They weren't perfect. Too much snow could bring them down. But they worked. A simple net became protection from both the storm and the sky. Mud was relentless. It ate boots, soaked gear, and, well, broke spirits. Soldiers found one way to beat it: rise above it. They laid wooden planks, known as duckboards, across trenches and sleeping areas. Just a few inches of lift meant drier feet, longer-lasting boots, and a chance to sleep without sinking. When wood ran out, they used doors, crates, even woven branches. Anything that kept them out of the muck. In a world where disease and exhaustion spread faster than bullets, a dry plank was as valuable as a weapon. These 8 hacks weren't about comfort. They were about staying alive when everything wanted you dead. Corrugated iron, mud, timber, snow, rubble, ordinary materials turned into miracles of survival. That's the kind of knowledge we can't afford to lose. Because one day, when systems fail and storms rise, it won't be technology that saves us. It'll be the same thing that saved them: resourcefulness, grit, and the will to adapt. If you believe these lessons deserve to live on, hit subscribe, share this story, and help rebuild the lost resilience our grandparents lived by. The Forgotten War Fronts isn't just a channel. It's a reminder that survival is an art, and history is the teacher.